Hello everyone, today we'll be looking at how to become a better Call of Duty Zombies player. As a disclaimer, we'll be going through the core elements and gameplay that is shared throughout the Call of Duty series and not the nuances that exist in some that don't exist in other titles, such as armor, crafting, salvage, etc. The gameplay being shown is primarily from the latest release, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, with the rest of the gameplay being from Call of Duty Black Ops 3. In this video, you will find information that is key to becoming a better Zombies player, and there will be timestamps in the description of this video as well as the pinned comment for ease of access to each section. Part 1. Settings. So to start things off, we should get the mechanics of the game down. Adjust the sensitivity to your liking and get a feel for the game. Feel the turns and movement of your character. Now this sensitivity feels a bit too slow for me, so I'm going to make it faster. I like a faster sensitivity because it allows me to check corners as well as look around me really quickly. There are lots of other settings to adjust for in the games, such as vibration, colorblind assist, and so forth. Definitely adjust those accordingly. Also, make sure to adjust the audio so that you can hear things properly, as some important parts to becoming a better Zombies player are listening to the audio cues that are given throughout the game. Part 2. Overlay. So we're going to take a look at what's on the screen here, and on the bottom left you can see my name, you can see the health bar, and above that the points. On the bottom right of the screen you can see the ammo count, your equipment, and the name of the gun that you're holding. On the top right of the screen you can see the round counter. In the middle of the top of the screen you can see a compass, and on the top left of the screen you can see a mini-map. Now this changes when you go to Black Ops 3. In Black Ops 3, the round counter is on the bottom left of the screen. Directly above that you're going to see your character as well as the points that are right next to that. On the bottom right you can see the ammo count as well as other equipment that you're holding. Now it's important to be able to read this information really quickly, as it'll help you plan routes on where you want to go. It'll help you plan out for perks, guns you want to buy, and anything of the like. Part 3. Familiarity. The mechanical aspect out of the way, let's look at the actual gameplay. Now you've already set your settings and gotten accustomed to the way the game looks on your screen. Now it's time to get a feel for what it feels like to play the game. Games play differently in the auto assist, the way that you move. Sometimes you can jump over things that you cannot in other games. So it's a good idea to get used to that. Now, when you're looking around, it's important to take note of some doors that you can open, obstacles in your way, such as barrels, zombie spawns, and other things. Sometimes you might find a door or a pathway that can only be turned on with power. Definitely keep note of these, as this will be opened up later on when we discuss power and perks and other things that can be turned on when the power is on. Do keep in mind of mystery box spawns, as these will be important when you get a power up, which will be explained further on in the video, but also are good to know in general. As you play through the game, you're going to be opening up doors or other variations of doors like barricades and stuff that will need to be opened, and the first thing you want to do when you get to a new area, explore, explore, explore. Get accustomed to what corners not to get trapped in, places that you can run around, mystery box locations, perks, obstacles, basically the same thing we did for the starting room, just in every room that you travel throughout the game. The more you're accustomed to each part of the map, the better you'll be able to play when you're being followed by up to 30 zombies. Also be on the lookout for symbols on the walls that point you towards where the power switch will be. Part 4. Guns. Now we're entering the nitty-gritty of the game. The guns. A gun can be the determining factor between you downing and losing the game around 10 or getting to over around 100. Typically the starting weapon is enough to keep you afloat for a couple of rounds should you maximize your efficiency with it. Throughout the game, you'll see chalk drawings of guns on the walls in certain spots or rooms. These spots will never change, and the cost will remain the same throughout the game. The benefits of buying a gun off the wall is that you can buy ammo if you're running low. The process is the exact same as buying the gun off the wall. Simply run to it, look at it, and hold the use button. Besides the guns off the wall and your starting weapon, there's a special box that allows us to gamble with our points and try to receive a gun. This is called the mystery box, and it can be found at one of several spots on the map. The mystery box will randomly select a gun from a specified list catered to the map, and it will usually scroll through your options on what it can give you. It can exist at one location at a time unless there's a fire sale, which will be explained further in the power-up section of the video. The box will remain in this position for a few purchases termed hits of the box, after which it will move, which is indicated by receiving a floating teddy bear and a demonic laugh. Fear not, as the money used for the purchase will be refunded to you. It is typical to find the best weapons, as well as the worst weapons, within the mystery box. Guns play and feel a tad different than when used in multiplayer campaign, so keep in mind that your favorite weapon may or may not be good to use in zombies. You may also find that a gun can exist in the box, but it also exists on the wall, as seen here. On some of the older maps, you might also see that there's a map above the mystery box location with a little green light indicating where the box currently is. Each of the lights will indicate where a possible spawn is. So we're going to head over to where the box should be. And sure enough, here it is. And lastly, keep in mind that above the mystery box there will be a light that shines through the sky indicating where it is. In some games, it is possible to customize weapons with attachments, so definitely take advantage of that to boost up not only your favorite gun, but other guns as well. This can range from increased fire rate, increased damage, possibly reloading faster, things like that, and those small little boosts will definitely make a difference in the game. In most maps, there exists some form of upgrading your weapon through the so-called pack-a-punch machine. By forking over a hefty sum of points, you can increase your gun's firepower, ammo count, and reserve count, and more depending on what weapon is upgraded. Should you have pack-a-punch a wall weapon, you can buy ammo from those same spots, although for a much higher price. In some games, you can do this more than once, and different effects will occur, so try testing them out and see what happens for yourself. Also, keep in mind that when you pack a bunch of gun, you have to pick it up from where you put it in the machine, or else you will lose the gun. What will happen is the gun will slowly start going into the machine, as indicated by this clip, and you will not be able to pick up your gun once it's gone. You just lost however much you spent on pack-a-punching it.
I have power that will burn your very soul.
Part 5. Movement. Alongside guns comes the movement and flow of zombies. Zombies is really just a big game of tag, and you want to get tagged more than once in a short time span. Like in regular tag, your best bet is usually to run fast and kill whatever's behind you. A zombie's speed will progressively increase in relation to the round until they reach a full sprint. Don't worry, as this full sprint will never be faster than your full sprint or your fastest walking speed. This will allow you to be able to run, turn around, fire a few shots, and then turn around once again and continue running. As you might notice, I seem to be running in a circular pattern. This is called training. Similar to a mother duck and her ducklings, you will want the zombies to follow you in a manageable group, allowing you to kill them with ease and also avoid getting down. When scanning a room, it's important to know whether it is a good room to train in based on where the zombie spawns are, what obstacles obstruct the path, as well as how big the room is in general. The best places to train are ones with lots of space, few obstacles, and zombie spawns that are decently far away from where you'll be running. In this case, the spawn room satisfies these conditions. There exist other places as well, however, and each person has their own preferences. Keep in mind that you will also find rooms that are really difficult to train in. This is also key when you're playing the game, as you will have to know hey, I need to not get stuck in this room because it is difficult to survive it here.
You are all I again. You will be purified by honor.
Sometimes you won't want to run around and instead stay in one spot. This is called camping, and it's another form of playing the game. This was the original way to play zombies actually. This strategy takes in mind that the zombies will always come to you, so instead of running around worrying where they will be running from out of the spawn, instead you just say, hey, they're gonna come to me, I'll kill them as they come to me. So this strategy relies on knowing where the zombie spawns are and how the zombies move in a certain room. Part 6, Zombies. Now that we've done most of everything in our power to get better, we have to look at the zombies. A lot of the time, the zombies will be snarling, growling, screaming, and making all sorts of noises and other disgusting things, so try not to be fazed by this. When shooting a zombie, a kill is when its health reaches 0, which is done by shooting it, or meleeing it, or exploding it anywhere on the body. Headshots will deal more damage as expected, but shooting them in the chest or leg won't make that big of a difference. All bullets into a zombie are a good one. At times, you might not want to use bullets, however. Frag grenades, C4, Semtex grenades, and more are also used as explosive methods for handling zombies. This may result in the removal of zombies' legs, leaving them as a crawler. When left as a crawler, they are slower than the sprinting zombie and also look funny. In some maps and games, zombies might have special abilities and powers, and in these cases, it is best to figure out what they do. Usually, in-game quotes from your characters will tell you what might be a good method to handling the zombie, or give you insight as to what this special zombie does. Part 7, Boss Zombies. These are typically big zombies that come every few rounds and are big bullet sponges. They also have annoying attacks usually, with them also being heavy hitters. They usually have an indicator for when they're coming in the form of an auditory cue or the screen shaking and rumbling. Some have indicators showing when they are weakening, such as their helmet popping off or when they're splitting into two. It's important to take note of these as you will know, hey, I'm about to kill him, or hey, he's going to do this special attack now. Keep in mind that these guys will spawn within the early rounds, around 7 to 9, so it's best to have a decent gun for handling them early on, or at least a strategy to. Keep in mind that not all maps will have a boss zombie. Some do, and when they do, it really sucks if you're not prepared for it, so do make sure you're prepared. In this clip, you can see I'm on round 12, and I'm dealing with one such boss zombie. Here I almost die several times, and he's being a real pain in my butt. So I'm going to try to shoot him with my gun, and with all these zombies running around, it's making it very difficult to deal with. Now say I weren't using my gun and using my super good electric bow and arrow, I would have an easier time taking him out, as shown in this clip. However, this still might not be the determining factor in killing him, because he just has so much health, and is capable of killing me as if I were a fly. Could I have done better in killing him? Yes, I could have used the bow from the get-go, that way I would not have downed. I could have run the other direction, I could have done a lot of other things. But keep in mind, under pressure, you might not always think of the best option. Now let's say I'm using a really good weapon against the zombie boss, such as this one that we just saw. Check out how fast I killed him. He did not even hit me. That is astonishing. And this just goes to show the effectiveness of your gun when dealing with him is imperative to success. Part 8, Additional Enemies. Alongside the zombies and the boss zombies, there are usually hellhounds that come every few rounds that have a dedicated round to them only. They are fast, faster than you can run, so it is your best bet to shoot them on sight rather than to try to outrun them. A dog round is indicated by a misty grain over the map suddenly appearing when the round changes, and also is accompanied by the announcer saying, "Fetch me their souls." I find it best to personally camp when it's a dog round, since I can't outrun them, but I can kill them when they're trying to catch up to me. Keep in mind that in all games so far, except Cold War, the dogs will not switch targets until the target is down. The last dog of a dog round will always drop the max ammo, and the fog will almost immediately clear afterwards. Another enemy that you might encounter are Nova 6 crawlers. They are weaker and smaller, but are still very much annoying. When killed with bullets, they will explode, leaving behind a cloud of gas that disorients your vision as you walk through it and for some time afterwards. Damage done from these explosions is also equivalent to a hit from a zombie, so keep in mind the distance between you and these filthy enemies when killed. One way to stop them from exploding is to kill them with a knife or to use explosives. These enemies don't have a dedicated round, but instead spawn in a normal round with the rest of the zombies. Part 9. Power-ups. These are supernatural drops from zombies that appear randomly, which can aid you in your quest. They typically spawn only a few in a round, and sometimes the ones you want or need won't drop for some time. Keep that in mind so that you won't rely on them, as this won't be a good idea for the long run. Among these are the max ammo, which fills up your ammo completely. However, there is a difference between the newer generation of zombies and the older generation, as the newer generations will refill the ammo in your clip, and the old ones will not. The nuke is the next big one, and this kills all remaining zombies on the map, and also awards you 400 points. The next one that we can see is called a carpenter, and this one repairs all barricades on the map and awards you 200 points instead. Now there's also insta-kill, which is self-explanatory. Just any sort of damage you do to a zombie will instantly kill it. Do know that the points still matter, so if you get a headshot on a zombie, it will count for the points you would get if you normally got a headshot. So we have double points, so this is another pretty simple one, just doubles all the points you would get from damaging or killing a zombie. And this is also another clip of me showing you that there are multiple drops that can spawn. You don't have to be limited to one at a time, although that's usually the case. They also work in conjunction with each other, so having an insta-kill and double points, as shown in the clip, will indeed double the points when you kill a zombie, and when you kill a zombie, it's going to be with any sort of damage you do. Another self-explanatory perk is the bonus points. When you pick this up, everyone in the game will get 500 free points. Always grab it, not a bad time to grab it. A really cool power-up that is just super fun to have sometimes is the death machine, and what it does is it gives you a really big just turret in your hand. It has infinite ammo, and it does a lot of damage to the zombies. I'm talking almost insta-killing them. And you can see from the earlier clip when I basically murdered the boss zombie like nothing. And lastly, we have the fire sale. Now this one took me quite some time. It took me about 4 hours to find some footage for it. But the fire sale is super cool. It activates all mystery box locations on the map. I'm going to come up top right here, and you're going to see that the lights are on everywhere on the map for all the mystery box locations. And here's the kicker. All the mystery boxes cost 10 points. That is so cool because you can get set up with a good gun early on, let's say, and it only costs you 10 points. That's insane. But anyway, this is one of the more rare ones, and here you can also see the lights going out. Part 10, perks. The most important part of the game, in my opinion, are perks. They're game changing, with each one adding something to the table to aid you in your quest to being a zombie slayer. The main two perks that should always be grabbed are Juggernaut and Speed Cola. Juggernaut lets you take an additional hit from a zombie, granting you additional health. As you can see here, I got hit 2 times by a zombie, I got a red screen, and so I bought Jug and then proceeded to get hit twice again. Sure enough, no red screen. Speed Cola increases reload speed, which is pretty apparent in some guns, so that really slow reload times. Note that having Fast Max attachment does stack with Speed Cola, so you'll reload really quickly. Now after that, each perk is up to the player and sometimes the map as well. In really big maps, you might want to consider getting Stamina, which will speed up your sprinting speed and distance, as well as your passive walking speed. If you aren't confident in your aim, then Deadshot Daiquiri will auto-lock onto the head of a zombie or other weak point, and also decrease hipfire spread, as you can see here from the crosshairs of my gun. Double Tap 2.0 will do double damage and also double the fire rate of your weapons, as you can see here. But do note that Double Tap 2.0 is different than Double Tap 1.0, which is only in Black Ops 1 zombies, as it only has the increased fire rate effect. Now, Quick Revive is a major perk that changes depending on if you're playing solo or co-op. In solo, it'll revive you if you're down up to 3 times, so you can buy this perk 3 times. Afterwards, it will disappear, as you can see in this clip. And if you're not playing solo, meaning you're playing with other people, it'll instead have the effect of reviving other people faster. And this going away of the perk doesn't exist. It just stays there like any other perk would. Now keep in mind that in Cold War, Black Ops Cold War, it does behave a little bit differently, as it also has the added effect of increasing health regeneration speed. So it's a tiny bit better in this game. Part 11, Traps. In lots of zombies maps, you might encounter a device that allows you to purchase it, and a trap will occur. These traps are usually ways to kill zombies en masse. The cost will change depending on what map it's on, but it will remain the same for the entire game. They last for some time, and then need a period to recharge before they can be used again. They can be found by the red boxes that exist in the walls, which are usually next to doorways. Above this box there will usually be a light, and if it's green, that means you have the power on and the trap is ready to be used. If it is red, then that means it's in use or it's recharged. If there's no light at all, then that means there's no power on in the area, implying you can't use it. A good strategy is to buy a trap and then face the opposite direction so that you don't have to watch your back for some time. This will mostly down a player if they decide to go through it though, unless they have Jug, short for Juggernaut, which will instead leave the person who decided to walk through the trap almost dead. Should a boss zombie spawn, they might aim to deactivate the trap for some time before heading back towards killing it. Keep in mind that both perks and traps are powered by the power switch, so should you want to use these things to aid you in your quest, you gotta find that power switch, which is usually indicated by the lightning symbols on the walls. That's usually the first objective to do in the map. Part 12, Co-op. Now I'm not going to have any footage for this one because I didn't have any friends to play with at the time, but hey, it's okay, don't worry about it. Now, should you be playing with other people, always try to communicate with them. If you see a max ammo, tell them to reload and then grab it when they're ready. When there's a boss zombie and you need help, ask for it. If you go down, tell them where you are in a calm and collected manner. It's very difficult to play with someone who screams into the mic when they go down and complain and whine when you don't revive them because you didn't notice or you didn't even know. Also, it's best to revive someone safely than to risk going down yourself saving a teammate. There's no point in that. Keep in mind the time it takes to revive as well as the way the horde will react once the both of you are up and running. You don't want to run into each other or run into another horde because you'll both just die or down in the process. Don't feel bad about going down often though. We aren't always on our A game and that's A-okay. Mistakes happen and things go awry sometimes. A tip to avoid this is to not run into other people's trains or try to get them killed. Let's all have a good time and help each other kill zombies and have fun. Part 13, gameplay and extra tips. First thing we're going to talk about is barricading. When you see a boarded window, it will have up to 6 wooden planks on it indicating how many need to be thrown off before a zombie can get through the barricade. Rebuilding each one requires you to be in close proximity to it, and you have to hold down the action button to rebuild it one plank at a time. Doing so will reward you with 10 points for your efforts. Do note that you can still shoot, ADS, also known as aim down sights, and other things when rebuilding a barricade. There is also a limit to how many times you can barricade to get points within the round. Higher rounds equals more barricades to award points. Do note that if you are looking for a quick game or are trying to progress through the rounds quickly, that rebuilding barricades will slow down zombie movement tremendously, as they will have to tear down each barricade until there are none left. Now, I'm going to go through some early round strats as well as other tips and tricks that I can give to you guys who are out there watching the video. First thing I'm going to say is knife round 1. Save your ammo. Ammo's important, it'll get you points, and knifing awards just more points in general. I'll explain that later. Shoot 1 mag the knife on round 2. There is another way of going about doing this by shooting the zombies in the foot starting from round 1, but do note that this requires precise aim, as a shot anywhere else besides the foot will kill the zombie. Another thing I can tell you guys is to go prone on perk machines for a free 100 points. This has been added since, I think, Black Ops 1, and it's just a nice little kind of thing. So the next tip I can give is during an insta-kill. When you have an insta-kill, make sure to knife if you can, and if you can do it safely. This awards more points per kill, which also saves ammo. Next tip I can give you is that turning on power should be your first goal. Perks and traps are, powered by the power switch, so not being able to get that extra health or faster reload and stuff like that, or even be able to use the electric gate to help you out, is really detrimental to your time in the game. You should prioritize figuring out the fastest way to get to the power switch and turning it on. That way you don't have to worry about it later on when the zombies are much harder to kill. In all games except Cold War and Black Ops 4, after each round you're going to get 2 grenades or whatever type of equipment you're holding. An exception to this would be C4. When knifing zombies, stay away from their hitting range so that you don't unnecessarily grab a power-up drop. You wouldn't want to lose out on points by accidentally stabbing a zombie and getting a nuke. The last zombie of the round will almost always become a sprinting zombie once you hit about round 7. Keep the starting weapon so that you can get lots of points fast early on. When you have a low damage weapon and a large horde, you can get a ton of points by shooting at them. The bullets will go through some zombies, and so instead of getting the normal amount of points, say 80, you might get 250 or something. This also applies to other weaker guns, where you can shoot through the horde and get more points. Depending on where you shoot and kill a zombie, you'll get awarded a different amount of points. Headshots award 100 points plus the points for each shot, while a chest kill will give 70 points plus the points for each shot, while a standard kill is 60 plus the points per shot. Getting a melee or a knife kill will award 130 points, which is the reason why you want to be knifing on the insta-kills, as that 130 points is so much better than the 60 you're getting from shooting them anywhere on the body. Try to save a few, or at minimum 1 zombie at the end of the round. This will allow you to do tasks that you want to do safely instead of having to worry about whether a zombie will spawn and get you from behind or from the front. And it'll also allow you to think about what your next objective in the map is. This also helps in co-op when someone has to go to the bathroom or lunch or something out of the game, and you could just be watching the zombie and making sure that the zombie does not target them. This is a big one, and I know it sounds silly, but pick up your weapon from the Pack-a-Punch machine on time. It sucks when you spend so many points on a gun, making it better, making it stronger, and then you lose it because you didn't pick it up on time. It's happened to me, it's happened to other people and my friends when we play, and then sometimes we might just forget we put it in there. We have other tasks that we want to do, we just forget. It happens. Keep in mind splash damage from explosive weapons as well as grenades, as they'll damage you. If a friend throws a grenade in your direction and it explodes, instead of damaging you, it will disorient you, which still sucks. So don't do that, you. Keep in mind the differences between the games. In Black Ops 3, you are unable to mantle over the railing in this clip. In fact, you can't even do it on either side, nor can you climb over the little ledge that is right next to the rail. Contrastingly, you are able to mantle over the railing and the ledge in Cold War. All in all, Zombies is a fun game mode with little intricacies that you learn to get higher and higher into the rounds. It's about being able to predict enemy movement, move around them, and kill them to survive longer. More so than the strategy is the fun you get out of it. If you don't like it, that's totally okay. Should you have liked this guide, I will consider making more Zombies guides, as I own most of the other COD Zombie games, or even guides for other games. Just let me know in the comments below. If I missed anything, or if you want to share your gamertag and system you play on, feel free to leave a comment down below. Maybe you might find a friend to play with. Now, without further ado, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.